You're listening to Inside Lebo, a podcast giving you an inside look at Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office.
Hello and welcome to Inside Lebo. I'm your host, Assistant Municipal Manager and Municipal Planner, Ian McMeans.
And I'm Mount Lebanon's Assistant Public Information Officer and the Senior Editor of Mount Lebanon Magazine, Rachel Windsor.
So summer is on the way, and there's a lot to look forward to in Mount Lebanon, specifically in our Uptown Business District. We're joined today by our Commercial Districts Manager, Eric Milliron, to talk about what's happening this year with our events in Uptown.
And we're going to find out why your favorite summer street party has a brand new name and the special surprise in store for the July Final Friday. So Eric, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back. Glad to be here.
So let's talk about the Uptown Market first, because that's a very popular thing that a lot of people come to, and it's coming back starting, I think, around the end of May and running through around the beginning of October, give or take. And this is a bit of a change from recent years. So what kind of led to the change this year?
Yeah, well, like anything, you want to always be in a continuous improvement. So, we're in Pennsylvania, we're not in California, so the growing season here is not kind to May. So there's some holdover apples from the fall and some things like this, but we thought to give the vendors a little more time to get inventory and let the plants do what they do and grow the things that they grow. We'd move it till the end of May. So that's when it's going to start. It's the final Saturday in May. I believe that's May 31st, and the hours have not changed, so that's still going to be 9 a.m. To noon, but wizened Uptown Market goers know that some of the vendors open just a little bit before 9. Not all, though.
Okay. So any special surprises coming to the Uptown Market this season, or things that people can look forward to?
Yeah, well, there's going to be some new and some old. One thing with farmers markets, people fall in love with certain vendors. So a lot of your favorites are going to be back. All of the produce vendors we've grown accustomed to, Cinco de Mayo, salsa. A lot of those folks are definitely coming back. But we are in an effort working with the partnership, and I should say that the farm market is owned, essentially, hand quotes there, by the Mount Lebanon Partnership. They're the managing organization. So I do want to put a shout out to the Mount Lebanon Partnership for doing that. But they're looking to add more vitality to the market. So not just vendors, but they're looking to fill it out with some additional crafts folks. And then this is a great partnership with the municipality. We're rolling out a new initiative called Curbside Concerts. So this will be at the Saturday markets, as well as Final Fridays. And it's an opportunity for artists to perform. And if you're not familiar with busking, it's an old British expression for essentially performing by putting the hat out. So no, it's not begging. People are performing, so it could be anything from magic to acoustic guitar to, you name it, saxophone. So we're promoting that right now. So if somebody listening to this is an artist and you have more than 3 or 4 Neil Young songs you can perform, please email me at emilliron@mountlebanon.org. I'm taking in a lot of those folks. So we hope to populate each Saturday with some buskers and then bring some into the final Fridays. So that's brand new, and we're hoping that that's a big success and supports the arts and the market.
Great. And so you mentioned that there are some vendors that typically come to the market that don't just sell food or produce. Can you tell people that might not have been to the Uptown Market before what sorts of things that they can expect?
Yeah, well, again, always food. It's primarily a farm market, but a number of years ago, and this wasn't just semantics, we changed from the Uptown Farmers Market to the Uptown Market, and the idea for that was we wanted to, be able to offer some different sorts of vending opportunities above and beyond food products. So the market manager right now, Carla Clipper, is pulling in those folks, and so I don't really have exactly everybody that's coming in, but in the past we've had everything from soap, handmade soaps, a Wonderfill, which now has a great shop on Broadmoor, started at our market, selling reusable bags and other products and containers. So you never know what you're going to see. So stay tuned. And then the Mount Lebanon Partnership is redoing their website, and so you'll want to check that out as we get more into May, because that'll be populated with the vendors.
Sounds great. And I know, just on a personal anecdote, Coin Farms, who comes and sells meat at the market, we ordered a bulk purchase from them this winter, and the meat was delicious. So
fantastic.
Yes, if shameless plug for one of our vendors, but if anyone's looking to buy like a half a pig or a quarter cow or anything like that, and I know they have chicken and other stuff as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought those folks up. They also have eggs, which I know is all the rage to discuss, especially the price of them. But Coin has kept their prices reasonable because small family farms really weren't as affected by the pricing issues that large corporate farms were. So they've been able to maintain their prices. But yeah, Coin is great. I saw their application. They're coming back again. And yeah, they have dog bones and all, pretty much all kinds of things related to farmyard animals.
Cool. So thinking about the business district as a whole, because your role with the municipality is as commercial districts manager and economic development coordinator, how does the Uptown Market kind of fit into the larger vision that the municipality has for the business district?
Yeah, well, the reason we're so supportive, other than the fact that we like to eat, and I enjoy markets, it's really to bring people uptown and to experience the district in a new way. We're always, that's why we do events. They're fun and all that sort of thing, but the return on investment, and for me, is getting people up here, and so they may go to Uptown Coffee and get something there, or Orbis Cafe, or many of our other shops. We have a new business that's going to be opening up here that has morning hours, Toastique, that is really looking forward to the market, because that's a great opportunity and good synergies there. So for me, a lot of the reason that we do the market and support the market so much is that it's an opportunity to turn people on to the district, and maybe a shop may not be open when they're there, but they come back to visit or have lunch, or whatever the case may be. So it's a little bit of business retention.
Great. And so we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about some more stuff going on in Uptown this summer. And welcome back to Inside Lebo. So Eric, let's get into the big change that longtime residents will definitely be noticing. Final Fridays. For almost 20 years, we've had First Fridays, which is the free concert in Clearview Common on the first Friday of June, July, and August, which will now be, as you can guess, the last Friday of those months. So why the change?
Well, first we kept the alliteration, so I just want to start there. So, we went from first to final, so alliteration is important. A big reason has to do with July 4th. For some weird reason, it's always on the same weekend every year. And that created a conflict for years. I've been here going on 18 years, and, bands are booked for other larger, sort of festival, rib festivals or whatever. People are on vacation. There's a number of things. So the municipality, as well as the Mount Lebanon Partnership, had been talking for a few years now about maybe just switching it from first to final. And so we decided to bite the bullet, and this was the year to do that. So that was a big piece of it. And it's also an opportunity with the rebranding for a refresh on the activity. For folks that may remember this event from its inception, and probably up until a little bit before COVID, it really brought up a lot of folks. We had jugglers, we had magicians, we had stilt walkers, we had a guy with a monkey with an organ grinder one time. I mean, we had all this sort of peripheral stuff happening, and then you had 3 bands at one point, and I mean, there was just all this stuff happening, and it was great. But that was in a different era. We weren't competing with a lot of other communities. Mount Lebanon, like it is oftentimes, was sort of at the leading edge of this First Friday notion, a couple decades ago. And we stood alone, really didn't have much competition, but other communities have caught on, and Pittsburgh's a very dynamic city, and there's a lot of things happening. So, we're now competing with a lot of other events. So we've had to become stealth, and this is a continuing effort in that to provide a great event, bring people up to the district, not conflict with a major national holiday, and yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned the bands, and the bands are obviously one of the big draws for the Final Friday event. So what bands do we have lined up to perform this year?
Yeah, well, June, we have, let me start with this. We did a survey, and so we wanted to see what people wanted to see at these Final Fridays, and, what kind of music and things of that nature. And we had a very robust response. Anytime we asked Mount Lebanon's opinion, we get it. And so we had a lot of folks respond. And, it's difficult to wade through all of that. But one thing that resonated and resonates is that people want music that makes them groove. So, we're looking for stuff that, while I appreciate classical music and things like that, it doesn't work well in this context. So the first band is the Wisdom Reggae Band. Reggae's very nice summer-type music to have, and we've had these guys before, and they're just really delightful. They do, old-school reggae, everything, a little bit of dub in there, and that type of thing. So they're a very talented group. So that's in June. I think we're going to talk about July in a little bit. And then August, we're bringing back our perennial favorites. It's not just because I'm a deadhead, but because we do get more requests for Fungus than any other band that we have. And candidly, they bring out the biggest crowd. So due to that, and again, this is about business retention. It's about having a good time, but it's also about bringing business up here. So folks up here to go to our restaurants and shop. So Fungus will be back in August. And then we have a very special activity for July.
Yeah, so go ahead and tell us about the big happening for July.
Yeah, right on. Prior to COVID, we had a great relationship with WYP, and we were building up to doing sort of a Deutschtown Music Festival here in Mount Lebanon. So we were establishing relationships with different organizations, WYP being a critical one, as their role with sort of alternative radio here in Pittsburgh. And so we had enticed them to come with our singer-songwriter series before COVID. Obviously, COVID happened, put a brake on many, many things, including our YP relationship and any notion of a music festival. But we sparked that relationship again. So what we're doing this year is participating in WYP's Neighborhood Concert Series. So they're putting on a series of concerts throughout the Pittsburgh area. I'm not going to promote other towns, but you can go to WYP's website and find where those are. But we are hosting the a neighborhood concert series, the final Friday in July, which I believe is the 29th. And I should also mention that the one thing we also changed was the hours. So every final Friday is 6 to 9. It's no longer 7 to 10. That was a preferred time slot. So there's going to be 3 bands that WYP is providing us, and I wish I could tell you who they are, but WYP is still pulling together that lineup. So I know for sure we're having at minimum 2 different bands. One could be of national caliber, and there could be 3. So it just depends on where the contracts settle with WYP, because they're in charge of that piece of it. But that gives us great exposure regionally. We're promoted, anywhere the WYP's airwaves hit and anybody can stream. We're getting that exposure, and we hope that it brings a nice crowd out.
Cool. That sounds excellent. And I just looked it up. So I believe that final Friday in July is going to be July 25th. So mark your calendars for July 25th for the WYEP Neighborhood Concert Series in Mount Lebanon. So just one final thing, you mentioned the Mount Lebanon Partnership website. It's mountlebopartnership.org, where people can go for more information on the Uptown's farmers markets, and then anywhere else people can go for more information on Final Fridays and other events in Uptown beyond the partnership website.
We promote it, obviously. Yeah. So, you can go, Final Friday series is municipally led event, but we partner with the partnership. So we'll have information on all these things on mountlebanon.org. And for the YEP neighborhood series, tune in to WYP 91.3.
Okay, great. And also just another plug for the municipality. Always head to our social media channels if there's any sort of last minute updates, changes, weather cancellations, that sort of stuff. We're on Facebook, X, and Instagram. So from your Saturday mornings filled with fresh foods and street music to Friday nights packed with community concerts, it sounds like Uptown Mount Lebanon is where it's at this summer. Eric, thank you so much for joining us and giving us the inside scoop. That'll be all for this edition of Inside Lebo, produced by Marcia Morgenstern, with music by Drew Monod and graphics by Chris Leeper.
Thanks for listening to Inside Lebo, and be sure to subscribe for future episodes, and we'll see you next time with more information about Mount Lebanon.
Thanks for listening to Inside Lebo, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office. Learn more about all things Lebo at mountlebanon.org or by following our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.